fine.
we are.
See, we're fine. I just have to sit perfectly still.
Perfectly perfect. Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Between Us Only. My name's Andrew. This is my wife, Michelle. And we have been slacking.
Have we?
I don't know. I keep forgetting that
We need
what
to
day
film?
it is.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed how we just haven't really been like worried about when we film and what's going on.
You just let it just go.
I was just thinking you were going to forget when you told me we have a big pile of laundry in our closet and she's like, we need to do that tomorrow. I was like, we're either doing that or the podcast.
We're doing both.
Yeah, unfortunately. I was hoping you would forget one of the things.
One other thing? Oh.
Forget one of the things.
Oh.
You know?
I didn't. Oh. We do need new mics.
And Michelle wanted to talk about.
Don't start out with Michelle wanted to talk about.
Well, no, you did. She texted me while I was at the gym and she said, you know what we should talk about on our next week episode? Dopamine.
I do want to talk about dopamine.
So that's what we're going to talk about, I guess.
But I do want to talk about some other things before we get to that.
Okay.
So next week is the premiere.
I want to talk about that last.
Okay.
Just because that's exciting. And we're going to that's...
Everything in this podcast is exciting.
We're about to talk about something and we know nothing. Okay, this is what
No. Okay, stop it. First of all, I want to start with, we had some questions in the podcast episode last week.
That's all fun. I want to talk about more of that later. Because the dopamine...
This is what happens. I literally tried to go over with you and be like, this is our plan this is the layout for the episode. And you're like, no, I don't want to do a layout. And now you're just trying to do a layout by yourself in the moment. Because now we have two completely different ideas of what the layout is going to be.
I know, but so the questions are really good. And
That's why I wanted to start with those.
I know, but okay, fine. All right. All right. Okay. Questions. Let's start with that.
Do you want to start with dopamine? I can start with dopamine if you want to do that.
I just don't know how.
It's just a lot. It's a lot of things that I want to go over. And I feel like starting with that might be not that fun. Because it's going to take a while for us to get into it. That's why I want to start with the questions, because that's going to start us.
I just don't foresee us like.
Well, now we're just opening the podcast with fighting.
No, I don't foresee us like really talking that long about dopamine.
Okay. But you don't know what I've written down. Yeah,
that's true. I don't. But I just don't foresee. You think we're going to talk about dopamine for an hour and a half? Because I don't. I think maybe 30 minutes tops.
So
let's do it, and then let's talk about the fun stuff later.
Oh my God.
Okay, no, before you look at your little things, what do you know about dopamine? Because I was going to list off just the things that I know about it. Okay.
Well, I know there's real dopamine and there's fake dopamine. Have you heard the difference between those?
No, but I mean like the definition of dopamine first.
I mean, dopamine, I would say, is like what I understand it as is
it's a neurotransmitter.
Yes, I was gonna say hormone, but that's not what it is. I'm just losing words of how to describe things. But it basically makes you happy. Like it's the happy.
It's the feel good. It's the feel good chemical that is released in your brain. It is it comes from this is how it's made. So when you eat protein rich foods like eggs or chicken or like cheese or those, your body produces you get an amino acid, I think, from that called tyrosine. And then tyrosine,
I have the whole definition of what
I know.
it
Well,
is.
we could read it. I'm just going off of stuff that because of podcasts and stuff I listen to. So it makes, it's an amino acid tyrosine, and then your body turns that into L-Depo or something. It's like L-dopo, I think. L-Dopa. Your body turns it into L-Dopa, and then your body turns that into dopamine.
Okay.
And Sorry, I'm trying to like remember things.
No, you're fine.
But you can get it from like exercise or like completing a task, or if you do cocaine or any types of drugs. Like drugs.
Okay. I'm gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference between real versus fake, healthy versus unhealthy.
Yeah. But
I think the biggest, easiest dopamine hit you can do is being out in sunlight.
Yeah.
Can I go into my notes?
Yeah.
Let me get into it.
Your body produces it completely, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not something that you can take.
Or your brain, or...
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to talk about this, if you just start there, was because it's just something that I've been thinking about a lot this week. And I was listening to a podcast, and they mentioned a book called Dopamine Nation.
Okay.
Have you heard of that book?
I have a feeling I have heard that before, but...
It came out in, like, December 2023 or something like that.
Is it just, like... Is it referencing that we live in... when it says dopamine nation, it's referencing the United States. It's like we're all just a bunch of pleasure-seeking people all the time.
I think my understanding of the book is, like, explaining what dopamine is, and also like teaching you how to focus more on the healthy ones, stay away from the unhealthy ones, and then also getting like doing dopamine detox and like getting away from getting like too intertwined in the like a very unhealthy fake dopamine hit is like scrolling on social media.
Well, well, hold on a second real quick, because that I don't think is... It's whatever triggers your brain to release that chemical, really. So I wouldn't say that, because like if you enjoy scrolling and like doom scrolling, or when you get a bunch of likes on a photo or anything, I don't think that's fake to get a dopamine release like that. Your body is experiencing a pleasure, and then you're getting a dopamine hit from that. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying that's a good way to get dopamine.
No, but I think the bad thing about that is because social media is so addictive.
Yeah.
That you're like, you get addicted to the dopamine hit you get from social media, that you rather just pick up, like you're bored, you pick up your phone.
Yeah.
And you go to social media. I'm talking about dead scrolling, like, you know, when you've been on the couch for an hour just scrolling through reels or scrolling through posts, and then you're like, wait, what did I do the last hour? You know, when you hit that kind of moment, that's not good.
No, of course it's not.
You don't feel great. I feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah. Well, no, I think doom scrolling is just like one of the worst things we could do as people. But I don't think that's... but it's, if we're trying to classify what's a real dopamine hit and what's a fake dopamine hit, because... Like, for instance...
Well, I have lists that I'm going to go over.
I want to hear that, because I'm just... This is purely... This is not scientifically backed or any actual knowledge. This is just, like, experiences that I've had. So, for instance, like, if I had a night or a couple days binging with friends doing drugs...
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know... Yes, your body will release dopamine, but there's something that happens, like, for instance, like with cocaine, it, like, your body, after you're high, like, your body blocks whatever in your brain to, like, keep making dopamine or something, I think. I don't know. I want to hear what you wrote down. But when I would have those nights of, like, binging with my friends or by myself, very depressing, I would be so depressed, like so low, so more depressed than I usually am, and going about my life, like literally cradling myself, like crying, like wanting to die, and just feeling like I was in the bottom of a pit. Like, and it's just because your body produces so much dopamine and blasts your brain with that, and then it's like you're completely depleted, like you have nothing left. So it's like for 4 or 5 days afterwards, you're just like you're literally contemplating on, like, how do I keep going? You know? And I would consider that a fake dopamine hit, because you're just taking something and it blasts you with it. So that I would consider as fake.
Well, anyways, I saw this book and I feel like I want to get it, Because I feel like it could be very educational to read more about.
I think whenever you find something that you're just interested in right off the bat, that's, you know, it's going to be a good read. Because because I mean, that's the biggest issue I have with any books is like, I just get something because I think like,
I'll get interested into it once I start reading.
Yeah, because it's like I want to like broaden my horizon and like have just a broad spectrum of like things I know about. So I'll just get something that I see someone talk about, and then I start reading it. And I'm like, this is not interesting to me at all. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that you have that, you should read it.
Yeah. And I do feel like right now I'm reading a lot more.
You're in a dopamine nation.
No, but I'm reading a lot more. I'm on book 5 of BDB.
Yeah, she is.
No, wait, I'm on book 4.
No, you're on book 4. You're on Butch's book.
I'm on book 4.
Lover Revealed.
Yeah.
Which is great.
What were you gonna say?
I'm just happy that I'm happy that you're reading it, because now I have someone I can talk to about stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I can't wait for the moment when I start reading the books that you haven't read yet.
Well, so the reason why I am going back through the books is because I realized that like I don't want you to know more than me about this whole series.
I will know more than you.
Yeah, I know. Originally, I was planning on like stopping because I stopped at 6. I read the novella about Nala.
The 6.5?
Yeah, the 6.5 about Nala and
Zadist.
Zadist being a father and stuff. But I realized like that's too far ahead. I've already talked about this. I don't want to go into it. But now that I see you blowing through the books, I'm like, fuck, I don't want her to be like way far. I don't want you to be way far ahead of me, and I don't know what's going on. So I think I'm probably... I'm gonna right now where I'm at right now. I'm gonna still kind of I'm rereading Lover Awakened right now just because I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna stay in Lover Eternal world for a little bit and just keep going over that.
Yeah.
Until we shoot season 2, and then I'm just gonna fucking blast off. And
I feel like I'm gonna read through a few of the books this summer because I really like reading when I'm tanning.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I do get the Dopamine Nation, I'm probably going to take a break in between book 4 and book 5 and just read that probably in between. But we'll see. But, no, so I feel like getting into that because I usually have a harder time reading, like, more educational books.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, especially at night, like, I fall asleep.
Yeah. Dopamine Nation, though, like, there's probably some really interesting things in that.
Yeah.
Because there's like a fine line between like an educational book and then like a book that you will learn from, but it's just interesting, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now, but
I read one book like that before, and it's called Surrounded by Idiots.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
What was the main premise? You're surrounded by idiots?
I honestly don't remember what I read this book like a decade ago.
Okay.
But they also have like a second one that's called like Surrounded by Psychopaths. And it's just about like talking about society.
Yeah. And like just pointing out things that people do or something around you, or
no, it's just
how people act.
I don't know. I remember that I liked that book, that it was good, but I can't pinpoint right now what it was like, what the premises of the book was.
Okay, probably Surrounded by Idiots.
I became an idiot by reading that book. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, let me dig into this dopamine stuff. So the definition that I got was dopamine is a neurotransmitter, like you said, which is a type of chemical, a chemical messenger in the brain. Mm-hmm. It's involved in many important functions, including mood and reward. Dopamine is often called the feel-good chemical. Mm-hmm. It plays a key role in the brain's reward system, helping reinforce behaviors by making us feel pleasure or satisfaction, etc., eating, achieving goals, or social connections.
I get a big dopamine hit when I vacuum the house.
Yeah.
Would you consider that fake or real?
That's real.
Why is it real?
Because that's a task.
Okay.
You'll see when I get to the fake and real ones. Motivation and focus. It drives motivation, attention, and goal-detected behaviors. Higher dopamine levels are linked to increased focus and drive. 3. Movement. Dopamine is crucial for physical movement. Low levels in certain areas of the brain are linked to Parkinson's disease, a condition that causes tremors, and stiffness. Excuse me. And 4, learning and memory. Dopamine helps with learning by signaling when something is important or rewarding happens, making it easier to remember. And I feel like this is also like something that we can include when we do auditions, like learning a script.
What are you talking about? It's not something that you don't just tell yourself, oh, I should have a dopamine hit from this. Of course I get a dopamine hit when I learn a script quickly, or if I do an audition that I'm like happy with, you know.
Okay.
That's not how the brain works.
Okay. Let me get to the breakdown of the real versus fake dopamine. So, real dopamine, also called a healthy dopamine, these come from natural rewarding experiences.
Yeah.
Vacuuming. That contributes to a long-term well-being and mental health. Different types of real dopamines are exercise, walking, running, or Pilates, deep social connections and real-life bonding, accomplishing goals, even small ones, healthy eating, creative expression, art, music, or design, meditation or mindfulness, learning new things, and then getting sunlight or being in nature. These are real dopamine examples. Yeah. These activities build your dopamine system over time, creating more balanced and sustainable mood regulations. And then we have fake dopamine. These are instant gratification activities that spike dopamine quickly but don't provide lasting satisfaction.
Chocolate cake.
And often lead to crashes or addiction-like cycles.
Chocolate cake.
Examples of fake dopamine. Scrolling on social media. I know I'm really bad at that.
Chocolate cake.
Binge watching TV shows.
That's bullshit. If you're binge watching Desperate Housewives, but if you're watching like stuff with good acting as an actor, that's not. I'm literally researching. So that's not true. But yeah.
I'm not digging into you. I'm
arguing with this thing right here.
But I could see it as like you're home, and then like not you, but like as a person, you're home on a Saturday, and instead of like going out and doing something, you just sit inside and you just binge watch a show, like episode after episode after episode. I would feel like shit.
Well, I think if you also listen, if you don't have like a healthy routine in your life of like working out or like going outside and getting some sun, there's a lot of people that like they go to work Monday through Friday, they work 9 to 5, they come home, they make dinner, they put on the TV, and they go to bed, and they wake up and they do it again. And then on the weekends, they're so drained from their week that they stay inside all day.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like that to me is, I understand you're in this cycle of like you're maybe not happy with your job, so then that causes you to be depressed, and then that you have no motivation to like work on yourself or better yourself, so then you're in this like endless cycle.
And real dopamine gives motivation.
Well, and the only dopamine that you can find now in this very endless like cycle that you're stuck in is that you binge watch.
Okay, but wouldn't your dopamine levels go up then if you just went out in the sun and went for a walk instead of binge watching a TV show?
Maybe, but
I just feel like,
but no, not necessarily.
Like excessive screen time is a fake dopamine.
Yeah, I mean it's clearly, I think there's been studies, I mean things that I've seen, it's like it's stunting like the development of like children's minds, like, or their brains.
They said they shouldn't be in front of a screen until the age of 3.
They probably shouldn't even be in front of a screen at 3 either. I mean it's
no, but they're saying.
Yeah, but it's clearly, it's not good for you. Also, the amount of information that is like coming into our brains on a daily basis is insane.
Yeah.
There's so much shit that we're being just overloaded with.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you process any of that, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's like constantly, I just see things. I'm just like, oh, wow, like, oh, our universe might be in a black hole. Like useless stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, that's going to keep me up tonight. You know, I'm going to lose sleep tonight thinking about that.
But other fake dopamine stuff is junk food or sugar binges.
Yeah.
porn, or online shopping sprees, video game binges, and drugs and alcohol. These give short-term dopamine hits, but your brain can build a tolerance, making you crave more and feel worse over time. Basically, like an addiction.
Yeah, but I think all in I'm
but
not
here,
I'm not
listen,
like
this,
I'm not
it just,
fighting
it
for
just
any of those
ends with
things,
this. It says key differences. Real dopamine habits builds your brain ability to feel motivated, happy, and calm over time. Fake dopamine habits wear out your brain's reward system, leaving you feeling anxious, numb, or unmotivated unless constantly stimulated.
Yeah, I mean,
I can also feel like if we're watching, like we both do this. If we're watching like last night we watched The Last of Us. As soon as it gets to like a moment when we're like, this is like nothing is happening in the show. Like you and I, we both reach for our phone because we feel like we need something more. We need something because we're bored.
I do it more out of like to revolt.
To revolt? To make me mad?
No, to just like, I'm like, why the fuck did they do this in the show? And then I'm just like, you know what, fuck them, and I'm gonna look at my phone. I'm not gonna give them my attention.
I don't like that you do that. Because I also feel like you're taking away attention from me. Because this is something that we do together when we watch a show in the evening. And I feel like you going up on your phone and scrolling on Instagram. You
don't know what I'm doing on my phone.
Baby, I've seen you.
No, there's like 4 things that I do when I go on my phone, and it's like I'm checking my emails to make sure I don't get any auditions, because I get those at all certain points of time.
Yeah.
And then there's certain things that I will suppress all day that I'm like, I need to message this person back.
But you can't spend 1 hour without checking your emails?
Again, I told you it was a form of revolt because I'm upset with the show.
Okay, but it's not just that show that you do that. You do that with Righteous Gemstones. You did that with movies that we're watching.
No, I just do it when there's a point that it's not interesting. I don't do it all the time. If I genuinely, when we watched How
to Train Your Dragon?
No, that was different. I was like in the middle of trying to edit something.
I know.
Also, it was okay. When we watched Desperado, I didn't go on my phone once because I genuinely wanted to watch that. Have I seen the movie before? Yeah, a long time ago, but I wanted to watch that. I was literally, it's when I'm watching something.
So we should just stop watching movies that you don't want to watch and just
didn't say that. I'm just saying
not have movie nights anymore.
No, I'm saying that
because you don't want to spend an hour not looking at your phone unless we watch Desperado every night.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, fine. I'll try to be better about that.
But I mean, this is my point. Like, I know I'm super bad at, like, I have this like addictiveness to wanting to go and check, what's happening on social media. Like, I'm bored. Let me get inspired. You know? Okay.
Were you waiting for a response from me?
Well, I was.
What was I supposed to say? Yes. Would you want me to say yes to that?
I don't know. Maybe.
I was waiting for you to finish.
That was my finish.
Oh, you literally kind of held on to that. Like
I said, and then you just said.
Oh, I thought that was like a rhetorical,
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, I know. I was waiting for more. Are you done with that?
I mean, I feel like I've been changing small things. Like, I've been very inactive on Instagram this last month.
Okay.
Mostly because I just haven't been motivated to post because I feel like I've been prioritizing other things.
Okay.
But I also feel like every time, like, I started making like a mental note for myself, every time that I feel like I need to go and check what's happening on social media to like stimulate myself, I rather go to Pinterest and just look for inspiration, which I feel like is a better option.
I still think that's doom scrolling in a sense because you're just getting overloaded with images that produce dopamine in your mind.
Yeah, but it makes me happy.
Yes, it makes you happy. That's what dopamine is. It's the feel-good chemical that your brain releases. But going back to that, it's binge watching television shows and ignoring other priorities you have in your life on the weekends. And I'm not saying we do that, but I'm just going back to that endless cycle that someone could be stuck in.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to talk about.
I wish there was 30 hours in the day.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. What you just said, though, like, I don't think you need to feel bad about, like, saying that that's a fake dopamine hit. Like, again, you're using that Pinterest board to, like, okay, what will inspire me to, like, come up with something that I want to now make or sew or create, okay? So I don't look at that. I look at that as research. I look at that as research. You're doing research. When I'm, like, checking, typically when I'm, like, really, like, on my phone checking social media, it's, like, I'll be in bouts of, like, how you just said you haven't been posting much.
Yeah.
I've been, like, making it a priority to post more. I've been trying to post more because I have a lot of things that are happening right now. So I'm, like, trying to be active. Also, like, I know this is stupid. I know it doesn't matter, but, like, I'm almost at, like, 100K followers.
I know.
So it's, like, I'm trying to stay on top of, like, prioritizing posting. I've been trying to be better at messaging people back, but it's still, like, there's a fine line. There's, like, some days when I post something, I'll try to respond to everybody on there. Doesn't always happen. But I tried to respond to everybody on the trailer that I posted, and that was like fucking like 400 comments or something. But I don't look at that, like, I don't go on there and, like, I don't doom scroll. I'm, like, checking, like, feeds. I'm checking if Passionflix has posted anything. Like, I'm checking things that, like, would contribute to, like, something that I would repost or post or something, so, you know? And it's, like, constantly, like, for instance, like, right now we're in the kitchen and you're like, oh, look at what Passionflix posted. It's a thing of Robert.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were going to do that. And it's like, so there's, like, constantly stuff happening.
But I feel like we can get into a doom scroll, like, when we go to bed. We've been pretty
good about not doing that.
But we had moments when we both were just, like, scrolling for, like, 30 minutes to an hour before bed.
Yeah, I think you.
And then we both, like, we get both annoyed with ourselves because we're like, what were we doing this for?
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like we've been better about doing that. Yeah. Not doing that. But. I don't know. It's hard for me to say what one is like. I think everything in moderation is good. Like, for instance, I work out every single day. I go to the gym every single day. But there's some people that, like, will go to the gym in the morning and then, like, go to the gym at night, like, or, like, overwork yourself, you know, to exertion. That's also not good. Like, you can overwork out, which is to the extreme on that end, and I don't feel like that's a huge issue that most people have. I don't think people are overworking out, but it happens. And so I'm just saying everything in moderation. Like, if I'm not giving my time to, I think for me it's like I work out every single day, but I do my routine at the gym is very good. Like, it's to the sense where it, like, complements if I'm going to be there every single day working out. Like, I don't necessarily pace myself, but like, every other day is when I'll, like, overexert myself to the point where it's like I'm breaking, like, a really, really hard sweat.
Yeah.
But it's like today was like I was lifting heavy, but not overexerting myself to where I'm, like, sitting there dripping sweat, you know, but I got, like, a good pump in, I guess, if you want to call it. I always feel weird saying that.
You got a pump.
But it was but, like, I get a dopamine hit every time I go and get it. Like, after work, like, I'll be there for 2 hours or something. When I leave, I feel good. I'm like, okay, check. I got that done today. Like, now whatever else happens, at least that's out of the way. You know, like, I feel like.
No, and I feel the same way when I do Pilates. Like, after I leave the studio, I'm like, I feel great.
Yeah.
Like, I feel motivated to do things. I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
All of those things.
I look at also, like, it's not so much that I leave the gym being like, oh, I just worked out. Like, I could do something else. Like, it's more
That's
so
me.
For me, it's like, I'm like, whatever else I do today, like, I did that. That's, like, a big priority that I have in my life is to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Because my job is so uncertain and anything could come about at any moment. I can get a phone call being like, hey, you have a photo shoot in New York.
Yeah.
Like, that when I found out about that last thing when I went to New York I was there in like 5 days later I was there shooting.
Yeah.
And so my main priority for myself is, like, luckily it's to stay in shape, and luckily that benefits me overall mentally and physically, not just my job. So I know I know a lot of people don't have that. They can't prioritize working out because their job doesn't need that, you know, but I think it's I don't know.
I understand you. I understand exactly where you're coming from when you say that.
But that endless cycle that I was talking about, like the person that has the 9 to 5 job, and then like when they get home on a Friday night, they're just like, they're so fucking depleted. Not just because like, oh, their job might be a desk job, you know, like you're sitting there hunched over, don't have good posture, like already that's gonna drain your energy. Yeah. So then you get through your week, they're probably like thinking, okay, like tomorrow morning I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do that, but then they're just kind of maybe depressed about their job, they're not fulfilled with it, so they crack open a beer or they have a glass of wine, whatever, to decompress, and then they have maybe 2 or 3 too many, and then they wake up the next morning, they're like, fuck, my head hurts, like I'm just gonna make like a good breakfast and just relax, and then next thing you know, 7 months go by and you didn't go to the gym once. Yeah. And that's easy to do.
I feel like you started somewhere and then you just pulled it a complete sideway, because you started somewhere and I was gonna like segue into something else here.
Okay, sorry, go.
But like you said, like someone that works a 9 to 5 and then they come home on a Friday and then they sit down and they watch like a few episodes of a show or something, like they binge watch a show. And I feel like that's more like it says here, because this is like more of a detox, and one of them is called delayed gratification, which ends up with a stronger dopamine response. And it's basically like, instead of just impulse scrolling on your phone, or impulse being like, I'm just gonna watch an episode, and then you keep, let me watch another one, you know, like you just like that kind of stuff. It's like, if you know that once the week is over, when I get home on Friday, I can sit down and I can spend 4 hours just watching TV, because that's my reward. I don't see that as a unhealthy dopamine, because that's your reward and you delay that gratification. So you you enjoy it more because you've been looking forward to do that, you know? Yeah. Instead of just being like, coming home being like, I'm so tired, I have nothing to do, let me just watch TV. You know, like,
I just think it goes back to like everything in moderation. Yeah. Like this is something that I've talked to my mom about, because she's just like, she's like, I'm so tired, and then like I work, and then my work makes me more tired, and then she's not in good shape, and then it's like it builds up, and I'm like, listen, if you just need to like figure out your routine with your time like management of like when you can fit in to get some physical activity in. I understand your job is draining. And it takes a lot out of you, and you're not in great shape at this moment. But if you can figure out a diligent routine to stick with for like, this is, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but like 6 months is probably where you're really, if you could stick to that routine and like just black out and then open your eyes again in 6 months, you will see a difference in your body. But not just your body, you're going to see a difference in your energy levels. Your work will become easier. Your mental clarity and your mental health will become better. And so it's just like this snowball effect where everything will start being better and become easier. And I know now I'm like segueing into like exercise, but it's such an important thing.
But it's a big part of dopamine.
Well, yeah, it's just people prioritize paying their car insurance, and they prioritize paying their rent, and they prioritize cleaning their apartment, or they prioritize all these
washing their hair, washing their body.
Well, that's also a hygiene thing. Is a priority. Like if you don't do those certain things, that can affect your
but that's what I'm saying. Like staying active is also a priority.
Yeah, but people tend to forget that. Like most people.
And it doesn't have to be, hey, I go to the gym every day. It could also just be, I take a 15-minute walk after work.
Yes, yeah.
Or in the morning before work, out in the sun. Like it could literally be something so small that just like, because I know there was one period of times when I felt very like depleted at work, and I told her, I was like, I need to start walking in the park after work. So we started going. I came home, I picked you up with the dogs, we went to the park, and then we went for like a 30 to an hour walk. And that made me feel happier.
Yeah.
And like that helped so much. And I feel like it could be something so easy.
It just needs to be something. Yeah, it just needs to be some kind of physical activity that you can you get a little bit of a workout. You get your heart rate going, and but just people tend to forget that. They don't prioritize it because it doesn't fit into their
everyday
schedule, and then they and people will like to talk to you like, oh, I'm not a gym bro, or it's like, it's not even about that. Like, I don't talk to anybody at the gym. I hate when people talk to me at the gym. I wish people didn't talk to me at the gym. I like to go in there, do my thing, listen to a podcast or like a book or good music, and I just like to be left alone. That's it. But there are some people that's like their identity. Like they go there and socialize. Like I see a lot of regular people that I see there every day that they have their little cliques and they all hang out, and that's also great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Yeah. But no, one thing someone can do that's like, if they're in this like vicious cycle of just work and then sitting on the couch and eating junk food, get outside and walk. If you live somewhere that's fucking cold, then get a gym membership and just walk on a treadmill, and then use their sauna, because that's like very low. You don't do any activity. You just sit there and sweat. Those are two things that I would say to somebody. Yeah. I get a huge dopamine hit after doing the sauna. Like, I feel fucking great. I feel fucking just like, I feel like Mr. Fantastic. I feel elastic.
That's elastic.
Stretchy. No. Mr. Fantastic is the guy that stretches.
Oh. Yeah. I haven't watched Fantastic Four in a long time.
I don't know what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
We're talking about dopamine.
Dopamine.
Well, I have this last part.
Hold on, wait. I want to say one more thing.
Okay. I'm still talking about dopamine, so you're probably going to have other things to say about this.
I just want to say this.
Okay. Sauna. Mr. Fantastic. Andrew is having a stroke.
Saying that eating chocolate cake is a bad dopamine, I don't necessarily agree with. It's not fake, because you want to know.
I never said that. You said that.
Well, no, I thought, because you were reading a list, I was trying to guess what was on that list.
You just guessed chocolate cake 4 times.
And it was because it said junk food. Chocolate cake would be classified as junk food. Yeah. But what I'm saying is everything in moderation.
Well, everything in moderation. Like, you can have a piece of dark. They said, like, if you're feeling, this is a tip that I heard when I was younger, and they said if you had dinner and you have like a sweet tooth of something, like you feel like you need something more, having a piece of dark chocolate, like not a lot, not a whole bar, just one square of dark chocolate, could satisfy that sweet tooth. And it's not unhealthy.
Yeah, but then I like to doom chocolate and just
yeah,
no.
I told you last night, I was like, no chocolate.
Yeah, I know. I was upset, but doesn't matter.
But you were happy anyways.
No, I wasn't. No, I listen, I think it's well, this is the thing, is like junk food mainly people think about is like chips and soda, fast food, and like I have no urge to eat any of those things.
We had pizza the other night.
We did have pizza the other night, and we haven't had pizza since the night we went out with the Brotherhood.
But we haven't had pizza at home in...
Yeah.
I don't even know how long.
Yeah, but that was good pizza.
It was good pizza.
But anyways, we are so diligent with our diet, and like we eat...
But that's because we like that.
No, I know. But it's like, that's what I'm saying, is like there's people that the thought of like cooking like a dinner with like whole food ingredients and stuff, they think of that as like, ew, healthy. It tastes so fucking good. There's so much flavor to it.
I feel like it's more flavor than junk food.
Yeah, like your body, I feel fueled by that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I have like a burst of energy when I eat a really good hearty meal.
When we ate that pizza, I felt
like shit the next morning. You kept saying, she comes home from work and she's like, I feel so bloated today. I was like, yeah, because we ate.
No, I didn't say that. I said after dinner last night, I said, I feel super bloated right now.
Yeah, but the next day, When you came home from work, you said...
I didn't know. I didn't feel anything.
Yes, because she took a couple slices to work with her and had it for lunch.
I did.
And then she came home, and you're like, I feel so bloated today. And I was like...
No, I did not say that.
You said that.
I said that in the evening.
We were brushing our teeth.
Yeah, in the evening.
And I was like, no shit, you feel bloated. You ate pizza for dinner last night.
I didn't say I felt bloated today. I said I feel so bloated right now.
Listen to me. I felt hungover the next morning from that pizza.
Yeah,
I literally was
think
like...
you were more gluten sensitive.
Well, it's because I don't eat bread ever.
I know.
And when I eat
I'm not as gluten sensitive as you.
Well, it's not... I don't think it's gluten sensitive. I think you're just used to it. Like, I've never... the thing about the bread that we have in this fucking country, like the bleached flour and all
I'm
the
not
fucking...
saying that you're allergic to gluten.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that your body is more sensitive towards it because you don't have it ever.
And that's the crazy thing is, like, when you notice the difference of how your body feels when you completely cut that out, because I pretty much kind of, in a sense, I was doing the carnivore diet in Atlanta, but like when I'm here, we eat a lot of fruit, so it's like I'll do a lot of meat, a lot of eggs, and like fruit and veggies of like, but like we need to be better. Because we used to eat broccoli all the fucking time, and then we took like this little break from it.
I love cauliflower.
But I love cauliflower too. But broccoli, I think is more beneficial for you. But anyways, okay.
Maybe.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say.
Broccoli is more likely to taste like farts.
I don't care. Broccoli doesn't taste bad when we crisp it a little bit. It tastes good.
Yeah, when I do it, I do it good.
Okay.
I'm not saying that you do it bad. I'm just saying that. Continue.
I don't remember what I was saying.
You were talking about diets. When you fuel your body with the right type of diet instead of junk food.
Yeah, you just feel good.
And you used to be carnivore.
I get like the dinner you made last night, the chicken with the, what is it, tzatziki sauce? What was it?
Tzatziki.
Tzatziki. That and
that
and
thing?
then what? It was like avocado,
crispy rice,
and cucumber.
And broccoli.
And then the chicken and broccoli. and it was that right there. It was so much flavor.
Yeah.
We didn't. It was just. I got a.
It was the weirdest seasoning.
If I would eat that,
it was fine.
Next to like a chocolate cake, I would have the same dopamine hit from both. It was like I
would not have the same dopamine. I would feel sick if I ate chocolate cake.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something sweet, I get the same dopamine hit from like a hearty meal. Yeah. Like a big steak. Like
I'm not a sweets person though.
That is not true.
That is true.
You eat your Swedish candy like...
Yeah, but how often do you see me going for like desserts and like...
No, not that.
Sweets and stuff like that. Yes, I do like my Swedish candy because it's sour.
Well, no, I mean like for the most part, you were in this ritual every night where it's like after dinner you would have a little piece of dark chocolate. I'm not saying that's bad.
No, because I liked it.
Almost just threw up in my mouth. No, I had like a burp but there was some tea in that. Ugh.
A tea burp. Love that.
But but I don't know what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is like I'm not. If I get to choose between sweet or sour, I would choose sour. If I get to choose between sweet or salty, I would choose salty. And I feel like that's also a bad thing because I feel like I'm eating too much salt.
Table salt, iodized table salt is bad for you.
No, I'm not talking about salt. I'm talking about salty things.
Typically when you're craving salt, I think it means you're dehydrated. When your body craves salt.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the opposite.
Look that up really quick. But this this is what I do first thing when I wake up in the morning, okay? Before I have coffee, before the dogs wake up. This is like the ideal, but this is okay. I'm going back to what I'm saying. I do a hydrogen pill, a hydrogen water tablet in my water, and then I do a pinch of Baja Gold sea salt in my water. That completely replenishes like the minerals and hydrates my body for what it needs first thing in the morning. I do a big glass of that. I think everybody should do this. I don't care what the fuck your doctors say. Do that. But if you're doing that, use the Baja Gold Celtic sea salt. Baja Gold. You can order it off Amazon because that salt is one of the best rated salts that you can use. Don't use fucking table salt. Don't use iodized salt. Don't use any of like that shitty salt. And then like pink Himalayan salt is good, but the problem with pink Himalayan salt is like there's high levels of like metals, I think, in it. Like I'm sure that there's some good pink Himalayan salt brands out there that don't have it, but for the most part, it's not really regulated. So like if you're gonna put salt in your water, I'd get the Baja Gold Celtic Sea Salt. Get that because it's. Thank you. And and put that in your water first thing in the morning before you have
food.
Before you have food, and then get a really good methylated multivitamin. And if you do that, you're checking all these little boxes first thing in the morning. I take my the methylated multivitamin, and then I do the Baja Gold Sea Salt with my hydrogen water tablet. That's what I start my morning off with. And then if you want to get outside and then just go stand in the sun for like 15 minutes, you're fucking setting yourself up for success every day. Go. What does it mean?
A salt craving or an urge to consume salty foods can signify a few different things. It could be due to simple factors like stress, boredom, or dehydration.
Boom. I was right.
It could also be if you're losing electrolytes through sweating a lot.
Dehydration. Okay, so stop.
It could also be if your hormones are fluctuating, which my hormones are crazy.
Okay, it's dehydration. That's the main thing. They can list up, but this is the other thing.
Now Google this. The first thing was stress.
Stupid. Yeah, you're stressed out.
Stress can lead to hormonal imbalance that triggers salt cravings.
What could cause a hormonal imbalance? No, listen to me. What would cause a hormonal imbalance or stress? Being dehydrated would cause all those things. But listen,
I feel like I'm dehydrated.
Listen to me really quick, though. I want you to Google one more thing. I want you to Google how much salt is the body made up of, the human body. How much salt do we have in our body?
How much salt do we have in our bodies? Roughly 250 grams, about 9 ounces.
Okay, I don't really know what to base that off of. I was thinking it would be worded differently.
It's making it up around 0.4% of the the body weight.
That doesn't help me. Google this. What is
for a person that weighs 50 kilos has around 40 tablespoons.
This doesn't help. Salt. This doesn't help what my point was.
What was your point? Tell me.
Okay, I think I heard this somewhere. This could be completely wrong. Saline, a saline IV drip. That's
okay. Yeah.
That's like pretty much. People probably are gonna be like, he's not smart. I think it's pretty much that's salt that they're.
Is it?
Let me look this up.
No, don't go out there.
Oh, sorry.
Baby.
Can you Google what a saline IV drip is? I'm pretty sure it's like to hydrate your body, but I think it's mainly made up of salt. And the point of what I'm saying is,
saline IV drip.
This is the problem about being overloaded with so much information in one day.
A solution of sterilite water and sodium chlorine salt.
Okay, so salt. So if you go into cardiac arrest and you're usually they'll say like high blood pressure and all that stuff is from like, it could like doctors will say, oh, like you need to lower your like salt intake and all that bullshit. Well, if you go into cardiac arrest and you get picked up by an ambulance, the first thing they do is they put a fucking saline
salt
IV
solution
into your IV drip into your arm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not a scientist. Clearly, you guys just heard me ramble about a bunch of random stuff. I don't know. I wish I was stupider so I didn't think about anything, you know?
Okay, let me just get... I'm not even going to answer that. Let me go through the last part because I think we need to do a little break in the video. Otherwise, it's going to be too much to upload.
Okay.
Okay, so the last part that I wrote down was dopamine detox.
Dopamine detox.
And then
say that 3 times fast.
Dopamine detox. Dopamine detox.
Dopamine detox. Dopamine detox. Dopamine detox. Detox.
Detox.
Okay, all right.
Okay, the first one is identify your fake dopamine triggers. First, take a stock of what's giving you cheap hits for dopamine. These might include scrolling on Instagram or TikTok for hours, constantly checking your phone, snacking on sugar or junk food, binge watching Netflix, or online shopping when bored. Just becoming aware of these is powerful.
Wow, that is powerful.
2, take a dopamine fast. Start small. You don't need to quit everything forever, but try a few hours a day without screens, especially social media, processed food or sugar, entertainment overload, or online distraction. During that time, replace fake hits with real dopamine sources. Add real dopamine sources activities to your daily routine. These build long-term satisfaction and emotional resilience. Morning sunlight, just 10 to 15 minutes can boost your mood naturally. Movement, go for a walk, Pilates, stretch, do anything that counts. Cold shower triggers a natural dopamine rise without a crash.
Yeah.
Mindfulness, try 5 to 10 minutes of deep breathing or journaling. Create something, draw, cook, write, sketch fashion designs. This is my ChatGPT, so they're like, hey, fashion. Connect with others, FaceTime a friend, or have a meaningful conversation in real life. Tackle a small task. Finish something small, like tidying your space or organizing files. For Andrew's vacuuming.
For Michelle's corner.
This gives a great dopamine hit. 4, delayed gratification, stronger dopamine responses.
Edging.
Your brain releases more dopamine when you wait and work for something. Practice. Saving social media for a set time. Example, only after 7 p.m. Planning treats instead of impulse grabbing. Doing a hard thing first in the morning. This revives your brain to enjoy the journey, not the reward. And then stay consistent, but be gentle. It's not about being perfect. Even doing 1-2 small resets per week, like no phone morning or a weekend nature walk, can rewire your brain to crave healthier dopamine sources. That's all.
I live my whole life like that.
I know, because we're pretty good at it, but I'm also just like, what can I do?
I think what would be cool, like I've been saying this to you for the past like multiple months. I said, since you do intermittent fasting with me now, like you do that pretty consistently, but I was saying we should do a 2-day fast.
Yeah.
We should call all of our loved ones, tell them we're not going to be on our phones.
Yeah.
We should do a fast, just a 2-day water fast without phones or anything. Just you and me, no food, just water, no phones, and just live.
What are we going to do?
What do you mean?
We
wake up in the morning, we go to the gym, we work out. we stay together though the whole time. So for moral support.
So I can't. Oh, so why can't I do Pilates? That makes me
You could
happy.
do Pilates, but then that means you would be out and about in your car, and you would probably need your phone.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, this is what I'm saying. I think
I can bring my phone, but my phone is always on flight mode when I'm at Pilates.
This is the point, is what I'm saying. We put both of our phones in a drawer, turn them off, put them in a drawer. We don't have them on us. And we just stay together for 2 days, and we don't eat, we drink water, and we just keep each other in check. We could set up like all these little activities, like we do
laundry.
No, listen to me. No, productive things like this.
Yeah,
like,
do laundry.
Listen, Linda, listen.
We are really bad at doing laundry.
No, we're bad at folding laundry.
We're bad at folding.
We have a
sorting.
walk-in closet, and
you can't walk in.
No, we put the clean bags of clothes in there, and I like to see how high we could get it. Anyways, hold on. This is what we do, okay?
Linda.
We put the phones in the drawer. We wake up, okay? We wake up.
What drawer? Okay, continue.
We wake up. We take the dogs out.
We put the phones in the drawer before we wake up.
Can you please listen to me? She will never do this, by the way.
No,
You'll never do this. You want to talk to me about how we should quit doom scrolling and all this stuff, and I'm saying like we could do a 2-day detox of everything.
That's fine. Let's do it.
So listen to me. This is what I'm talking about. So
okay.
Okay, we take the dogs out.
Mm-hmm.
We do 10-15 minutes of sunlight. We come
Mm-hmm.
back in here. We sit peacefully and we meditate together, like in the same room.
Can you promise me that we do no screens that day?
No screens.
No TV.
No. 2 days of no phones, no screens.
Can I sew?
No. Every activity that we do has to be together.
Okay, then it has to be in June. I can't spend 2 days not sewing. I have too many projects right now that I'm working on.
No, because that's unfair. Because what am I supposed to do? You're saying no screens.
You can read.
Oh, I'm supposed to read for 8 hours.
I used to watch stuff when I'm sewing. I don't have to do that.
Listen to me.
We can put up we can play a vinyl.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same. No, you can't do that either. We're doing a complete detox of entertainment.
No, we're doing a complete detox of
no music,
food. No. What? Are we in prison?
No, I'm just saying.
No music, no dancing.
If we're not gonna do TV,
no smiles.
If we're not gonna do TV, why would we be able to do it? I think it's
because it's vinyl.
No, that doesn't matter. It's an entertaining distraction for us.
Why are we living in the 1800s?
I think like sitting with yourself and like being like, okay, I'm bored right now. And then
I'm just gonna sleep. If we're gonna sit here and meditate, I'm gonna fall asleep.
No, I'm saying we would do activities like, okay, so like we would go walk the dogs, get sunlight, then we would come back here, we would go to the gym together, we would do a workout together, then we would come back here, and before we like shower or whatever we do, we could sit in silence for 20 minutes.
We're gonna fight so much during
and then we could take the dogs to the park.
Yeah,
or we could take the dogs on a hike
because we're gonna be mad at
we could take the dogs on a hike. But the point of it, the point of doing the 2-day fast is that we would be with each other, holding each other accountable. If you go off and do that, I'm gonna be sitting here and I'm like, okay, I can't watch the TV. Okay, read. I'm gonna be reading. I'm gonna fall asleep, and then I'm gonna wake up and then be like, well, I keep falling asleep.
If you want to do a 2-day fast before like New York or before something else, before June, then I need to be able to sew. We can do a 2-day fast with no food.
Okay.
But if we're gonna do like a whole like detox 2 days,
well, I'm gonna have my phone then.
That's fine.
Yeah, because if you're gonna be sewing for 8 hours, that's a cheat code.
That's fine. I get super hungry when I'm sewing, so just not snacking when I'm sewing is really hard for me.
Yeah, right.
So
I need to pee.
We can do that, but I'm just saying like I can't do a complete shutdown before.
I need to pee.
June.
Okay, deal. Well, let's do a 2-day fast. Okay, we're gonna go pee.
We'll be right back.
Bye. Welcome back. We took a little break, and I hope you're enjoying the program. Okay, we're done talking about dopamine. I'm sure you learned nothing, but
if you guys have any more facts, please comment below.
But we're going to read some questions that a listener posted on our YouTube channel last episode. And we're going to answer these questions.
Da?
Yeah.
No, da.
Da.
That's yes in Russian.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, but not when you say it like that.
Da. Da.
Zhenya, иди сюда.
Da.
Da.
Da. Okay.
Okay, let's do these questions.
Okay.
Ow, fuck, that's hot. Okay, go.
I'm just gonna read them straight.
Just we'll do one at a time.
Can you hear me?
We're just gonna do them one at a time. Just do the first one.
Okay, first one. What was the defining moment that changed everything in your lives?
What was the defining moment that changed everything in our lives? Probably.
For worse or for better?
For better, I think. I guess the question for me would be.
You mean the answer?
The answer for me. Well, no, I have a question. In our lives together as like one, or like in my life alone in general?
Let's do you do one for you, I do one for me, and then we do one for us.
Okay. Well, I already know.
Okay, go.
When I tore my ACL. That changed the whole course of my life. Fucking blown out my, like, really, that changed the whole course of my life. If that didn't happen, it wouldn't have put me on the trajectory of, like, I wouldn't be in LA. We wouldn't have been together. I wouldn't have like fallen into modeling or anything like that.
Yeah.
So if I was still skateboarding, we probably wouldn't have met.
Yeah. Oliver's playing with his toy.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's being a cute pie. For me, I would say, I mean, I feel like it has to be when I moved to LA.
Yeah. Because you were thinking about going somewhere else. You looked in Miami, right? You first looked in Miami, but then were you thinking about going somewhere else over in Europe?
I mean, I was looking at, like, oh, should I go? Like, a very common place for Swedish students is going to, like, London. But I was like, oh, would it be cool if I went to Italy or, like, France? Because then I could, like, study more couture, basically. But I was like, I don't want to live in a country where I don't know the language.
Yeah.
I don't know French. I don't know Italian. So,
Mamma mia.
I was like, that felt like a very big thing.
Oui.
But then I was like, and I also felt like right in that moment when I did settle on Los Angeles, I was like, I want to get like as far away as possible and like out of my comfort zone and just get like a new start. As
far away as possible. Sounds so dramatic, like you're like trying to run from your family.
Not my family. No, it was more just like I felt kind of stuck. Like I was working at McDonald's. I went to night school. I had 3 other like small jobs that I was doing, and I just felt like I wasn't going anywhere. So I was like, going to London didn't feel far enough. I felt like I wouldn't feel as like out of my comfort zone. And so, yeah.
So moving to LA and going to FITM.
Yeah.
Cool.
But my plan was to just stay for 2 years, so.
Yeah. That didn't happen.
And it's funny because every time I mentioned that to my mom, she was like, no, I knew you were going to stay there. I knew you were going to find a way to stay in LA. And I was like, no, honestly, like my goal was to stay for 2 years, do my studies, and then move back home and like be there.
Be a designer
be in Sweden. Yeah. But that didn't happen, so.
So what would you say was what's the question that most defining?
What was the defining moment that changed everything?
What the defining moment that changed everything?
I would say when I texted you back after you liked all of my posts on Instagram.
That's the most defining moment?
I think so. Because if I didn't text you back, I don't know if you would have texted me. You did the introverted way of reaching out to someone by liking 100 posts.
But it's very good. Works very good.
Yeah, it worked very good for you.
But I'm trying to think like,
Or what do you feel? Because I wouldn't say.
I think. Well, don't you think
defining moment for us? I wouldn't say New York, LA Fashion Week.
No. I was gonna say I think like a real defining moment for us was like. I mean,
when you invited me to watch the Oscars.
No. A real defining moment for us was like, the fact that the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Forced us, like not forced us, like we wanted to be with each other anyways, but because of the circumstances that were provided with what was going on in the world, we like kind of just bunkered down together, and like we just were with each other every single day because I was already experiencing like when that started happening, like I was living with a group of dudes and like we were all just partying.
Yeah.
And like we were working out, we were like making like little
content
for social
like
media,
videos and stuff.
like working on scenes.
And you were going to class.
I was going to acting class still until that got
canceled.
Then moved to like Zoom or something.
Yeah.
But I found myself being like in this like perpetual like cycle of getting fucked up with them, and then like you didn't really drink. You only drank because I drank.
I drank more back then.
Yeah. But then like I saw one, I loved hanging out with you, obviously. Like there was already things like I remember telling my old roommates, I was like, fuck, like I really like her. I was like, and I know I should like give myself some breathing room because I just got out of a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And not just, but like
no, but
it was long
I remember
enough.
you're like, I don't feel like I'm ready to jump into a new relationship, and I told you, I was like, I don't want to get into a relationship when I'm still in school because I want to focus on my last quarter in school.
Yeah.
And then that quarter got pushed basically because COVID. But so we both were also very like, not again started dating, but we both were like trying to take things as slow as possible.
Yeah.
And then COVID kind of just like,
well, yeah, like it catapulted our relationship into the next level. And you heard so many people say this, like COVID either made or broke their relationship.
Yeah.
And that for us, it made it. Like we
got married.
Yeah, like it solidified how much we did love each other, and then like what we could go through together, and then also like in close quarters and just being with each other day in day out, and like not getting sick of each other, you know. Why'd you roll your eyes?
Because we do get sick of each other.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, but I think it's important, like especially early on like that, because like when you just get like a heavy dose of somebody, you either like them or you don't. But even like people you like, you're kind of like, but I didn't get that with you.
No,
like
we were also, to be fair, we were also in the honeymoon phase.
Yes, that's what I'm saying though. Is like I've been in the honeymoon phase, whatever you call it, in the past, and like high doses of people, you still are like, okay, I need a little bit of a break. I didn't get that feeling ever.
Yeah, no.
And even now, like, yes, we get on each other's nerves, but like, it's nowhere near like I'm not sick of you. Like we bicker, but I'm never sick of you.
No.
Like if there was a funny meme I sent you of being like, hey, can we stop fucking fighting? You're my only friend. Like it was like when your best friend is your wife. I was like, can we stop fucking bickering? Like you're my only friend.
That is true.
Yeah. So
no, but we do have like, and then that's also factors of like, have we eaten today? Because we both can get hangry and like easily annoyed when we are fasting, or like
also just my moods are like fucking so up and down.
You don't think my moods are up and down? I'm the woman in this relationship.
I know. Yeah, but you're
my hormones.
You're the foundation.
Crazy.
You're the foundation. You're always, even when you're not feeling good,
crazy.
Which I feel bad, but like even when you're not feeling good, you're always like that even keel, like reliable. Like
I'm so glad you think that, but no.
Well, because my shit is always up and down. Like it's because of so much of like.
So wait, are you saying that your hormones are crazier than mine?
I'm not saying my hormones are crazier than yours. I'm saying that there is clinically something wrong with me. No, but yes, like there is something mentally wrong with me. Like there is 100%. There is no doubt in my mind that there's something wrong with me. But that being said, because of the career I chose, the uncertainty that we always have, I'm always like, I don't know if I'm ever going to work again. I don't know what my next job is going to be. I don't have any more money. Like, yeah. And then it's like, oh, I have money. Oh, I'm working. Oh, we have lots of money. Oh, we're doing really well.
We have to find a better stable.
I don't.
We'll figure it out.
Yes, we will eventually. But I'm just saying though, the mixture of being having mental illness, and then also this uncertain
having undiagnosed mental illness.
Well, it's not necessarily undiagnosed, but when they diagnosed me, I was very young, and I also
what did they diagnose you with?
Depression, possible bipolar.
Really?
Yeah, but
I didn't know this. You
but I
never
was
told
little.
me this.
I was little.
How little?
I was like 11 or 12.
That's not that little.
Yeah, I know, but I also had asthma, and I don't have asthma anymore. So I'm like, I just think
I don't think
my bipolar went with the asthma.
I don't think so.
I don't know. No.
Maybe we should do some time.
I don't.
But I do think.
I think we should eventually do like couples therapy. I know when people hear that they're like, oh, they're having issues.
No, we had this talk literally when we started dating.
Yeah, I think it would just be
like
it would be
2 months into our relationship. We sat down and I feel like that's also kind of like, it wasn't a defining moment, but that was a big moment for us. I feel, because we sat down and we were like, okay, let's go over our what is it called, like our
marriage.
No, not our marriage.
Our finances.
No, like our priorities.
Goals.
Like our like
strengths.
what religion are you? How do you want to raise a family?
Did we do that?
Yes.
I feel like we kind of just always talked about
like,
that.
do you want to have kids? How do you
Yeah, but
see,
did we?
what is that called? It has like a big
Your
word.
like life plan, your life goal, your.
It's called something else.
Oh, I know. Hold on. Your I know what the word is. It's not beliefs. It's your. Damn it. Hold on. Your core values.
Yeah, your values.
Your values.
Yeah. Like we.
I got it.
That was hard.
I don't know why I kept thinking of residuals. I was like.
I also thought of something an R. Something that started with an R.
Well, residuals is wrong.
No, I know that's wrong.
Yeah.
But I also thought of something that starts with an R.
I received a residual check yesterday from SAG for $9.
Nice.
$9.14.
Nice.
So that sucks.
No, but we went over like, it's not values, it's something else. But you understand what I'm saying. But we went over that pretty early on, and
I mean, but
I don't know where I'm going with this conversation.
Well, no, but like we didn't sit down and be like, what we always kind of talked about it. No,
but we did.
No, we always talked about it. Like we would be laying in bed and I would be like, I want to have a family one day, and you're like, I want to have a family one day, I was like, I can't wait to be a dad, and then I would talk about my
well, we talked
my siblings
about,
and
and we talked about
did we have River and Van when we first met?
No, I remember it was your birthday when you turned 29. Wow. And your mom, Kasha, and Janie called us at the gym.
I feel like they've been...
And Kasha told us that she was pregnant.
I feel like Van has been...
No.
And he's not even...
No.
That's so weird to think about. It's like I can't remember when Van wasn't
there. Yeah, I know.
It's weird.
That was pre-marriage.
Yeah.
But we sat down and we talked about like...
We did not sit down.
Okay, listen. When I say we sat down, I'm just saying like...
You're making it sound like we had like files. And we were like, hey, we're going to talk about our core values at 1 p.m. It was something that we always talked about. Like when we walked around on our second, or when we had the Valentine's date at IKEA, like we were talking about things we wanted.
When I'm saying we sat down and talked about it, I don't mean like we sat down staring at each other.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
Okay, I don't mean that at all. What I'm saying is we had a lot of conversations in the beginning of our relationship. Shut up.
I just wanted to do what you do to me all the time.
Well, you're always like start talking and then you just have your phone down in your... I'm like, I can't...
It's a microphone, not just a phone. Hello. Okay.
We had a lot of conversations in the beginning of the relationship where we talked about like how would we want to raise a family.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about education. We talked about like where would we want to live. We talked about careers. We talked about like family, like importance of family.
Yes.
Like not just between us, but with our parents.
You and me had very, very, we have the same values. All the things that you wanted, I wanted. I think the biggest factor for me too was like when we first were like started hanging out, I told you, I was like, listen, like this is what I'm pursuing, and if you aren't on board with that, then like I don't know what to tell you, because like I'm there's nothing that's going to alter my course of what I'm pursuing. Like I was like, I want to be an actor, and this is, if I'm successful, this is what it entails.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm going to have to kiss people and be romantic on screen because, well, just because of like the typecast, it's gonna happen, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And which I'm not complaining, but that's kind of every early career. That's what you'll get typecast.
You're not complaining?
As. Well, it's
I'm
not.
kidding.
It's not something
kidding.
that I look forward to.
Kidding.
If I could, I would be an action star. I want to do action movies.
I know you do, baby.
And I like doing dramatic stuff.
It's
I
fun.
like crying.
It's fun.
We have the same core values.
It is a different word that I'm thinking about. It sounds like an airplane. Is what
I'm trying to think of, because I thought R too. I was thinking a word with an R. I'm just chasing myself 10 years from me now to 10 years down the road. That was a very bad Matthew McConaughey impersonation.
I did not.
Okay. You're not going to figure it out. Baby, we have an audience, and you're typing in words that start with R. You're not going to type. Do not say words that start with R.
No, baby, I need that to read the question.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to go.
She's like, words that start with R.
No, I did not. I didn't even stupid.
I saw your list.
No, I didn't even stupid research. I said different values. Okay. And then I started Googling. I was like, no. Okay, next question. What advice would you give your younger self?
Don't do drugs. That would probably be the first thing I'd say. Don't do drugs, but trust your instincts. But don't do drugs, mainly. What would you say?
But if your instincts are drugs, don't do them.
Yeah. I guess that I shouldn't say that then. No, honestly, I would probably just say don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the entirety of like how everyone's just like, oh, Andrew cares about his health, and like he's trying all these things to like make himself as healthy as possible and all this stuff, and it's just like, no, I'm just trying to like fix the damages I did to my younger self.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to make the next half of my life not awful, you know?
Yeah.
What would you say to your younger self?
I would say
Dun, 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 dun,
I would be like, I'm trying to think of how I would phrase it, but like I would want to say like, don't be so scared of taking chances.
Yeah.
Because I was extremely, but I'm also like, if I said that and I changed myself, would I be where I am today? Probably not. So that was just like a growth that I had to learn.
Well, I feel like you took chances. You were just scared in the moments of taking them, you know, and I think like anybody, I think what would be that would be good advice if we were in Sweden right now doing this podcast and you never left and never went to school to fit them.
Yeah.
Like you did that. So I feel like, I don't know. Like I mean, obviously that's a good thing to say to your younger self. Like, be like, listen, taking risks it's scary. Yeah. But like, just know like you're going to survive. So keep doing it.
Yeah. But also just like underline on like taking those scary opportunities on is gonna make you grow so much as a person.
Every time, even when
and
you
like
fail.
And like tell them like that is the important part, you know?
Yeah. Like I think those big opportunities that you fail at,
Yeah.
you learn way more from that when you like.
You either grow or you learn.
Yeah, and it's like so many
both.
people say that. They're just like, I know it's like a cliche thing to say, but like really, like when you have this amazing opportunity and like you just dive in for it and you fucking go head first and you fuck up or like it all blows up in your face, like it really sticks into your like subconscious of like what not to do next time if that opportunity ever arises again.
I kind of did that today with my meeting.
You killed it.
I mean, I don't say I killed it, but I took a chance on something that is a little bit scary, and I'm still a little bit scared about it, but it's an opportunity, and I feel like I shouldn't say no to opportunities because it's going to lead to something bigger that's going to be good in the end.
I've always tried to do that, but as of recently, I've kind of like I stretched myself thin with like doing a lot of like projects that like
but it doesn't even have to be project, like it could be stuff within yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Like you should come to Pilates with me.
Well, I had someone reach out to me to do a short film like this week, but it didn't pay anything, and the way that the message was worded, it was like it didn't really tell me what the project was about. And like for me to like, if you want me to be like gung ho for a project that doesn't pay, like just send me the script. Like I'll read it. Yeah. And if I really like it, I'll do it for free. Yeah. You know? But it was like I messaged them and said, hey, message my agent, and like cause I do like to keep I always tell Joanne everything. Yeah. But I just didn't want to like do that back and forth with somebody and like have to figure out on my own what would it like, just like either send it to me or don't, you know. But back to like taking chances more, and like there was this little part of me of like, should I just have done it? But it's like I don't want to stretch myself too thin for things that might not be worth it.
No, and that's a lot of things happening this week to just begin with, so it's just like, is that gonna add more stress? Yeah. Or is that gonna give you any type of reward, you know?
Yeah, and I'm sure there would be a reward, but there was too many little things that like added up that made me like kind of just not want to take that chance. But yeah, taking chances is scary but fun.
Yeah. And don't do drugs.
And yeah, don't do drugs.
Next question.
Unless your instincts tell you to do it.
What do you do the podcast for? Do you want to inspire? Do you want to share, entertain, or just do it for you? Listen, the podcast is called Between Us Only.
Which we don't do. No, to answer that question, I think I still think the main reason was like gives us an opportunity to set aside time to where we just get to talk, you know?
Yeah, and just do a project together.
Yeah, to work on something together, to
spend time together.
Yeah,
to sit down and discuss stuff.
To kind of break up our routine in our life of like things we do. Like this is always like, because we get stuck in this like, you go to work, I do my shit during the day, we come back home, we have dinner, we watch something on TV, and then like we throw this monkey wrench into the mix. It's like we have to talk about something, and Michelle's like dopamine, and then we're like, let's talk about dopamine for an hour, which is I think it's, did you learn anything? Probably not. Did we learn anything? I don't remember,
but I felt like it was rewarding talking about it.
Yeah, I mean for you and me it was rewarding, I think.
And you guys, your reward is hearing us bickering about things.
Yeah. But initially it was for us. The beginning I kind of turned it into like,
you want to entertain.
I wanted to entertain, and that was like a kind of that there was like, it was like a peak for me in the beginning, because I found myself like during the week leading up to an episode of being like, what can I do to like be funny, or like what can I do to talk about that's gonna like be exciting and make people entertained.
Yeah.
And then after that became tiring for me. I was just like, I can't be entertaining. And then you were like, this doesn't need to be entertaining, we're just talking. And then trying to figure out my like going back to my why of doing this was like, oh, to like spend time with you and to talk about just whatever that comes to mind, you know?
And I mean, like, I feel like in a way maybe it could also be a little bit about inspire, because I feel like we are very honest and open about.
Some say too honest, too open.
No, but we are very open and honest in the podcast about like, oh, we had a fight, or we're bickering right now, or we're doing this and that. And like, just be open about like, this is our marriage. Like, we are like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, we're not trying to glamorize our life. We're not trying to make it seem so much better than it is, or lie about subjects or stuff like that. Like, I feel like it is just kind of like an eye-opener of this is our marriage, and we like to sit down and be open with each other, and then also share it with you guys.
I think what also is cool is like so many people that you follow people on social media, and you always put your best foot forward on the on those social media platforms. Like, you're like, oh, I'm on a fucking yacht today, or oh, I'm doing this, like, you glamorize your life, and like people see that and they're like,
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. And it's like, even I do that sometimes. Like, I look at what someone's doing and I'm like, fuck, man, like, I wish I had that. Sometimes I find myself doing that. Not a lot. I'm like pretty good about nipping myself in the butt when I get like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, we're very blessed. We're very blessed in the sense that like all of our family is healthy.
Yeah.
Our dogs, our cat Oliver, like, everyone's good.
Yeah.
And like, you and I are healthy, and we have a roof over our head. We don't worry about getting food. Like, yeah, groceries are fucking hell expensive, but like,
I was like,
but we have food.
We still have
fridge.
a home to come home to.
Yeah.
We have food on our plates.
And like there's so many little things that we could be extremely grateful for, like the fact that like your family loves me, my family loves you. Like, there's couples that like their families hate each other, and like all that. That would be such really an hard. Awful problem to have, and it's like the message your dad sent you the other day about how
proud he is of you.
Yeah, like, that was so sweet, and like it started making me remember his speech at our wedding and stuff. I love your dad so much. I love your mom. I love your brother. I love your nieces and nephew, my godson.
Yeah.
We're extremely grateful. But what the point of this was, and before we start crying or anything, was that I thought that by doing this would give a little bit of insight into our relationship, like really into our relationship, I guess. And just show, like, no matter how perfect our lives look on social media, because like, we don't post, we had a fight today or anything like that. Why would you post that? That's weird, you know? Or like, that would be strange to post. That's not post worthy. If one of our friends posted that, I'd be like, you should sit the next couple plays out, my man.
TMI.
Yeah, but like, nobody wants to see that. But to remind people that no matter how perfect your life looks on social media, like, everybody has problems. No matter how bad the problem is, anyone's worst problem in their life is their worst problem, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if one of us lost a family member, or if someone never lost a family member, they got like a DUI, that's just as bad in their life, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just went off here.
We just want to be, the purpose of this podcast is to be open about our relationship, and to be open with ourselves and with each other.
Yeah. And I think we could, I think eventually when we get further down the line, because we really haven't been doing it that long. Like, we've been doing it.
No, we're like 28 episodes in.
Yeah. And that's what I'm more interested in, is getting better at articulating like our thoughts. Like, the more we do this, the better we're gonna get at it. It doesn't matter if you look at our first episode and see how shitty it is or whatever. It's like, we're gonna get really good at talking and articulating our thoughts, and like trying to help the other person understand our point of view on things. Like, that's a very useful skill to have in life, in whatever career you have. Anything. Like, communication is key. That's why they always say that. And so I also am doing this as an educational standpoint of like being better about how I communicate, because obviously I'm not great at that. Sometimes I cut you off a lot. I don't know how to control my volume. You call it yelling, I call it excitement.
Potato.
But I don't know. I think we could be better about actually talking about a lot of our issues.
You want to do therapy sessions in the podcast?
I do want to do that, but I think right now at the point where we're at, I don't know if it necessarily would be beneficial for us. But I know. But this would be a really interesting podcast idea.
Do an actual therapist come in
Bring
as a guest?
Bring a therapist as a guest and do a meeting on us.
That would be fun.
That would be. I don't know if it'd be fun, but
it would be fun to watch.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch, but that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Because we would be very open about, I mean, that'd be interesting to do.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a thought. But I think when we get a little bit, maybe a bigger following and more down the line, when we have like a studio and 3 mics, because we only have 2 right now.
We do need to get new mics. My mic is on his last string.
Yeah. Well, someone reached out to me asking, they said that it would be cool if after season 1 comes out, if we would bring the like brothers on, maybe one by one or a couple at a time, and we could talk to them about the season. And that's a great idea. I don't know if Passion Flicks would want us to do that right after because I'm sure they're gonna bring the
guys
on for their passion, their
well,
passion
we can
pod.
bring in, because most of the guys are in couples, so we could bring in like a couple. If we have 4 mics, we can bring in and we don't have to talk only about Passion Flicks. We can talk about how it is for them to date an actor for the girls, or we can talk about like how it is when they're away. Like, it doesn't have to be Passion Flicks completely, but it could be like
I think that message that I got, it opened up to a wider thing that I was thinking. It was like, we want to have guests on here.
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
eventually we will. But I feel like right now we're like still in those early stages of just like developing us talking about what we want to talk about.
Well, we're still defining what the podcast is exactly. Yeah. We have like an overall idea, but we're still like making the fine print.
We're working out the kinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you guys have any podcast ideas or guest suggestions, comment below.
Yeah.
I can't promise anything.
Well, no. I mean, like we're not big enough to where we can just like ask people to come on here. I know, but I'm just saying, like, just comment below. That's all I'm saying. I can't promise anything. Comment anything you want. But these are all questions that someone commented below on our last episode, and they're all really good questions. So let's do the next one.
If you could spoil your life, and know what happens, would you want to know, or would you rather be surprised?
Well, if I was to spoil my life and I found out like bad news, then I would be able to course correct.
Okay, but if you spoil your life and find out good news,
I guess I would just keep trusting my instincts and don't do drugs.
So you would want to know?
I guess, right? Like, I mean, wouldn't that be cool? Do you think it would alter? Like, that's my question, is if I know, does it alter my choices?
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm so stubborn that even if I knew, I would probably still make all of my same decisions because I'm just stubborn, you know?
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I don't think I would want to know.
I don't know for instance, if I was like, okay, we can see into your future where you're at mentally on your deathbed of like all your accomplishments or whatever. And like, say I'm laying there, I'm like in my 80s, hopefully older, but probably in my 80s.
I hope you're older than 80s.
I don't know. But I'm sitting there and let's say like, I didn't really do anything with acting and you left me. That would be really valuable information to know right now. Because one, I could start putting myself out there more. I could start being better at treating you better. See,
you just answered your own question.
What do you mean?
not knowing that, like knowing that or not knowing that, that's still choices you should make to not have that happening. You know?
Yes.
Because you, like...
Yeah.
If you never, like, put yourself out there, or, like, if you stop pursuing acting, or if you start being mean to me, then, yeah, that is the ultimate... That's why you always should keep working towards your goals and towards, like, your relationship.
That's... Yes. Yeah. But that would...
Like, the only thing it would be beneficial is, like, if you go on a cruise, you're gonna sink that cruise and you're gonna drown. Yeah, okay, then I'm never going on a cruise. Yeah, that would be beneficial to know.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm like...
I know, but the point of what I'm saying is...
I hate cruises.
Yeah, I know. We all know. Would you want a cruise? No, but listen. What I mean is like, right now where I'm at, I feel like I'm doing a lot. Like, I've been trying to do the inner workings of how my brain works.
Yeah.
I have been, like, actively trying to better myself in that sense. If I wasn't, I would still be drinking. I would still be fucking doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I'm actively trying to understand how my brain works, and I'm actively trying to take things to see if I can fluctuate my moods and, like, without fully taking fucking antidepressants or something.
Yeah.
And then with acting, I feel like I'm going back to, like, the past couple years. I've been doing all these, like, little smaller projects that don't pay, and then they take, like, forever to get put out and edited and all that stuff. And
that was my computer.
but what I mean is like, I feel like I'm, if I was to see into my future and those were the results, then I would be like, oh, okay, so I thought I was doing enough. I'm not doing enough. So now I need to recalibrate. Maybe, okay, maybe I do need to pull the trigger and just start seeing a therapist. Then 2, maybe I need to just be doing way more with acting and putting myself out there way more, and, like, really get, because I feel like the one thing that I do miss with this is, like, I don't go out and like network. I hate it, but that's, like, something that I just completely don't do. And, like, for instance, seeing, like, how Alex works, like, Alex is, like, a master networker, you know? I don't even know how to, like, he's just, like, he knows so many people, and he's, like, does, like, these little red carpet things, and I feel bad because he'll invite me to stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to go.
You should go.
I just...
Twice a month.
No, stop it. I'm not making deals online. No.
Once a month.
No. We'll talk about this. We're going to shelve that. We're going to talk about that later. I really don't like it. But that I know that is a avenue that I'm completely missing, you know? But I really don't want to do it. So we're going to shelve that.
But I feel like no matter what, if you answer yes to that question, it's like, oh, I would do it because I don't want to be on my deathbed knowing that I have regrets about things. And it's like, okay, but then you have to start making those choices now. You don't need to know that. If you don't want to end up having regrets on your deathbed, then just take the chances that you get handed to you.
Babe, but that's what I'm saying is you couldn't know that you're not taking those chances unless you saw into your future. Because right now, how I feel, I feel like I take chances all the time.
I think so too, and I think you have nothing to worry about.
Yes, but if you saw into your future and that still wasn't enough, then you need to, like, up it.
I believe it's 20. Enough. I believe it's enough if you believe it's enough, because I feel like at the end of the day, there's also just so much you can do, and I do believe that things happen for a reason. So, but if you feel like this is your sign to do more, put yourself out there.
That's not a sign. I don't see that.
This question is a sign.
I literally,
that you need to go to networking events.
I don't want to do that. Listen to me. No. Listen to me. The commercial thing I did, I don't really, the commercial thing I did?
Yeah.
That director reached out to me.
Yeah.
And it fucking paid nothing.
Yeah.
And now look what it's going to be.
Yeah, I know.
I took a huge chance on that, you know? But also,
and it turned out great.
But I trusted my gut because I watched his other work and it was fantastic, and I was like, I want to fucking work with you. And now I have like, we're already in, like, him and I are talking about like potentially doing another thing together, and it's like, he's great to work with, he's super fucking talented, and I did one thing with him and it's supposed to be coming out at the end of the week. Because
things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And when you give out, you get things back.
Do you think I could talk about that? Can I be vague? Can I be vague about it?
You can be vague about it.
If you're planning on going and seeing Mission Impossible on the 23rd, Mission Impossible, the new Tom Cruise movie. What is it called? Mission Impossible
8.
Isn't it like part 2 of
Mission Impossible? I was gonna say No Time to Die, but no, that's James Bond.
I forget the name of it. But
No Returns.
But anyways, if you're gonna go see Mission Impossible, or if you're gonna go see any movie,
it's Mission Impossible 8. This mission is too impossible.
That would be a funny name to end it. This is the last movie of the whole
I know, that's
thing.
what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what they're saying, but who knows. But
or just Mission Impossible.
If you're gonna go see a movie this Friday,
or this summer,
but this Friday, I think.
Okay.
But this Friday,
or this summer,
or any time after that this summer, go to AMC.
Yeah, and be early.
Don't show up like
right before the movie
starts. Like, you want to be there to see you
want to see the commercials.
You want to see the commercials. Okay.
I think it's Mission Impossible. Yeah, you're right. This mission is impossible. Okay, next question. Would you say you are a different person in public than in private, or is there's no difference for you? Like public in the podcast.
I can be yeah. I have many layers to me.
He's like an onion.
Mm-hmm. I'm like an onion. No, I mean,
you stink.
Listen, if I'm in a room full of people I do not know.
Yeah.
And they no, this is a better thing. If I'm in a room full of people that don't know me and I also don't know, I can come off as very like
introverted.
Yeah, introverted. I just like. I mean, if you come up to me and start having a conversation with me, I know how to like turn it on and be able to talk normal. But if nobody acknowledges me, I will sit there and just look at everybody. Like I won't
know how to turn it on. Listen, this is how it is. We're both very introverted persons, so you're not gonna see us being loud and inviting and blah blah blah. But if anybody would come up to us and talk to us, this is how we would act. We are like, I feel like we're very open, and like we said before, we are very open and honest about things in this podcast, and like we're not shying away from bickering in the podcast because that's just how it is. And I do feel like this is very accurate to how we are in public.
Yeah. Well, what we're doing is this is like this because I think what people are, I guess what maybe that question is asking,
like we're not
like, are we putting something on?
Yeah, we're not putting on a show here.
Okay. Yes, that's true. Like this is how we are.
Yeah.
But when not filming, or like, so like if we go hang out with like the Brotherhood and stuff,
this is how we are.
Yeah, but I'll be up a little bit more than this.
I might be
because I'm trying to make them laugh too, but that's like something that I just inherently can't fight. Like
that's just how you are.
Yeah, like so watching this podcast, you see like moments of me being goofy. Now if I'm with my friends, like I turn that up even more.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like consciously making that decision. It's just like I can't help it. You know, it's like you see a button that says don't push and you're like, I gotta push it, you know.
He does that. He got kicked out of Disneyland.
Yeah. But if I'm in a room full of people I don't know, it's like I'll feel kind of uncomfortable, and I'm like,
but we would never
put ourselves in that situation typically, unless it's by force, which it was.
No, but
When James and Grace had their going away thing.
Oh.
We love James and Grace.
We do.
We love them to death.
Do. And the people that we talked to, we were really
all super nice.
Super nice people.
Nice. But Michelle and I sat in the corner
talking to each other.
People would just kind of like make their way over to us and then ask us who we were. And then we would have like really great conversations with them. But then we wouldn't get up. And then I would look at Michelle and I'd be like, do we need
And
to
he was
mingle?
like, should we just like go up and stand? I was like, so we're going to be standing and not talking to anybody? I was like, no, I'd rather be sitting.
Yeah, that's what he said. So, but that was like a constant. I was sitting there. I was like, I feel like we need to be doing something. I feel bad.
No.
And
see, I feel like that's the difference between you and me. You're like, oh, I feel like I need to be more social. I need to do this. And I'm just like, I'm fine just sitting here observing everybody. They came with the little tray with the little balls. I had like 8 of those balls. It was so good. Oh, like even the girl, it was the same girl that came out with the tray every time. And I just looked at her and she looked at me and she's like, you want more? And I was like, yeah. She's like, here you go. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah, well.
They were good.
They were good. Yeah, did we answer that question?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we did because we're not much different in the podcast versus how we are in private.
When I would drink though,
like if anything, this is private for us.
Yeah.
Because like she's saying, public is the podcast versus how we are outside the podcast with you and me. This is how we're acting. Yeah. Literally straight up.
Yeah. We could be more quiet if we don't know people. We'll just be kind of with each other.
No, I'm talking about comparing this to when the cameras are off and it's just you and me.
Oh, yeah, same. But I'm saying if we're in a grocery store together and there's people around us.
Yeah, but we don't have to be social around those people.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to say, hey, did you get the cucumber? Nice. Good choice.
Okay, shut up. Hold on, I had to say something. Fuck, I forgot. It was important. It was very important.
Let me jump to the next question.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. Where would you like to be in your career at some point?
Financially stable.
Mentally, financially.
Yeah. I think just like when you reach a certain point where like you're not worried about money.
Yeah.
You know? Like
finance independence.
Financial independence.
Financial no worries.
Yeah. I think that would be like obviously I want to make great things. Yeah. Like I want to make things that inspire people or make people feel stuff. Like that's all. Like I want that. I genuinely want that, but
I don't want to worry about where my rent money is going to come from.
Well, I always, my main goal was just to be like, I just wanted to be a working actor. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But working actor, that can mean many things. That's like, you could book, if you book like 2 things a year, and make like a certain, like $27,000 a year, like statistically you're a working actor. Yeah. You know, like, but that's not real. That's not livable still. You know, like it's shit. I mean, you could live off it, but it's shit in LA. Like you
can't live off that.
Yeah,
that's too low in LA.
But yeah, I think like I just want to continue to work. Is all the things I do going to be great? Probably not. But I think overall, if I have like a body of work that's like that I'm proud of, then that's all that matters. But financially stable. I just don't want to have to ever worry about money. Yeah. Yeah. No. Not be a millionaire. I don't need to be a millionaire.
Okay, but that's not.
I don't even know what the question was.
Like where you would want to be in your career.
Financially stable.
No.
That's my answer, I think.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but I'm talking more about like a career move that you would like to make at some point. Like for me, it would be I would want to start my own brand. Yeah. For you, it would be starring in a Star Wars movie.
That's a dream.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what we're talking about.
I want to be like I want to be taken seriously as an actor.
I feel like you're already there. Go bigger.
I don't think so. I don't think I am. I don't know. but I don't know. Like, I also, it's like, even if I'm not taken seriously or respected or like accepted by my peers, I'm not gonna quit. So I don't like, I already know what it feels like not to be a part of that. So it's like, I don't really fucking care if I'm accepted or not. Like, I'm gonna still meet people that are trying to make stuff, and I'm gonna try to make stuff, you know. So I don't know. I think just I want to make something that really is like impactful to people. I guess like I love making good stuff and I love making shitty stuff. You never really know if it's going to be good or shitty until it comes out. But I have fun every time on whatever I'm working on.
Yeah.
So I just want to continue to do that. And I hope one of those things is just like it becomes like someone's favorite movie.
Yeah.
That would be really cool if someone came to me like, the movie you did is one of my favorite movies. Like that would be a really great thing. That'd be a really great thing to hear from somebody.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't think I've done that yet. I know I haven't done that yet, but that's something I hope that I'm able to do. So
yeah, that's cool.
Is it? I don't believe you.
That's cool.
Okay, next question.
Okay, last question.
We've been talking for a long time. Doesn't it take forever to edit?
Have fun.
Fuck.
Let's do a little break.
A break?
I need to pee.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on a Jupiter and Mars.
Nice.
And we are back.
We're back.
Okay, we have one more question.
I feel like we turn a lot more lights on.
We have one more question, and we're about to answer it.
Okay, this is for Andrew.
Moi?
Andrew, how was ApolloCon?
ApolloCon.
And how was it for you to meet the fans and take photos with them?
ApolloCon was a lot of fun. J.R. Ward was the belle of the ball. She really was like
the center of attention.
Yeah.
Like everybody wanted to be where she was. Yeah.
And like that's how she is all the time. Like cuz like
I'm excited to meet her.
Going back to like how are you behind closed doors, or like she's just like a ball of energy.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun. Like what I enjoyed the most was like the diehard fans that came up to talk to me. It felt like I had an outlet to like talk about all the stuff that I've been researching and like diving into. So it was like, it was really great. I think some of the people were surprised a little bit, about like how much I knew, which I think is crazy. It's like, as an actor taking on a character that has all this like source material.
Yeah. You're like, why wouldn't I dig into that?
Yeah. Like why, like if I didn't know that stuff, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But
like that's your character. You need to know what that character is.
Yeah, and I'm still finding things out, obviously, but it's but no, I had a lot of fun. I got to sit there with Allie and Lauren, Passion Flicks at a table. There was like some people that were fans of the books that didn't know that there was going to be a show.
Yeah.
Which I thought was crazy. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, how are you a fan of the books and you don't know that there's a show that's already filmed, like that's already being edited?
That's being released in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well,
3 weeks.
Polycon was a little bit ago, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, in a month.
Yeah, but
it's coming out this summer.
Everybody was really sweet. All the fans were sweet. I've done these book convention type things in the past, so this was not by any means like it was a new experience in the sense that I was sitting there as an actor to like promote a show that I'm in. The other times that I'm there, it was like I'm there as like a book cover model.
Yeah.
You know? So that was
fun.
Yeah, that was more. I had more fun this time around than the other ones that I've done in the past. But I was like still signing like book covers that I've like with different authors and stuff, which was nice, you know. But yeah, all the fans were great. I love this community, like the romance community. They are so supportive and they're so sweet, and they're always like, "Where's Michelle?" And I'm like, "She's back home with our animals." But
I'm
that's
never
like
there.
That's probably one of the biggest questions I ever get is like, "Where's Michelle? Is Michelle with you?" And I'm just like, "No."
Yeah, she's in the hotel room just watching Desperate Housewives.
It would be, but I signed a couple of books that we were on the cover of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but also like you have to keep in mind when you go to these book conventions, these fans, they bring crates of books with them.
Yeah, no, I can understand
that. This is a smidgen of how many books they have. They bring the books that they know the authors that will be there for signings.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody knew I was going to be there until like a couple days before. Passionflix announced it super late. So like a lot of times the fans were like, "Oh my God, I wish I knew you were going to be here. I would have brought some of your books." But then the ones that had books with me on it, they like happened to like they drove out that morning from somewhere, like a couple states over.
That's crazy.
You know, so then they put some books of me in their
crate.
in their crates. But so what would be really cool is if like an author that were on the cover of You and Me Together, they like announced in advance that you and I would be there to do we could do a signing together. That would be really, really fun.
I would really enjoy that. I feel like that would be so much fun. I remember when we did the movie premiere for Wait With Me in Colorado,
mm-hmm.
I remember there were a few people that brought some books that you and I were on the cover of, they had me sign some books, and I was like, this is so much fun.
I
had a lot of fun doing that.
It's a weird thing to do, like if you've never done it. But I remember like the first couple ones I went to, it was just strange to like people like I'm
a very shy person, but I really enjoy that. I like the attention.
I can understand how that could go to people's heads, but like I've consistently have always felt strange about signing my name on something. So it's like
I just feel like every time I sign my autograph, it's gonna be a different way.
Mine looks like a third grader that just learned how to do cursive.
You do yours so slowly. Like you do the first A so slowly, and then you do the B kind of slowly, and then
if I go too fast, it doesn't. You don't see an A or a B.
No, I know, but I see.
I see
you done that A, and you're doing it with such like precision.
I want it to look good, but it's like I see people. They're just like, they're not even writing their name. They're just marking paper.
I know my grandpa's signature. He like wrote Pet-on across them, his full name, and then he just did 3 lines over this autograph. That was his signature. Just scribble it out.
Huh.
My mom's is like super like, because I think she just does like when she does just signatures, like small signatures, she just does MS for Marie Sjöström. But it's like, it's such like extravagant.
It's like a butterfly.
No, literally like. And I remember when I was little, I was like, oh, it's so pretty, this signature. My dad, I'm trying to think what my dad's signature is. I think he's just like.
Yeah, signatures never, that was like one thing. Like I remember like friends practicing their signature.
Yeah.
Literally, if you found when we learned how to do cursive.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what grade that was. It was early grade. But like when you learn how to do cursive, if you look at my fucking name, how I did my name in cursive, it is probably identical to how it still is today. Like I never changed it.
How old were you when you did cursive?
That's what I'm like, I can't.
Because I remember when we did cursive in school, I was 9.
I mean, it must have been like 4th or 5th grade. Like I'm thinking it was maybe 4th or 5th grade.
For
maybe
me, it was like 2nd or 3rd grade.
We might have did a little bit in 3rd grade.
Might have did a little bit.
We might have done a little bit in 3rd grade. I'm not 100%. But But I mean, I was little. But like again, like I'm saying, like my handwriting looks like a 6th grader's or something, or like a 5th grader's. And my cursive, or my name in cursive looks exactly the same as it did back then. Like I never changed it, and it always gave me anxiety because I don't want to just do this, because if I do this, it will be different every single time, and then it's not even a signature.
I mean, mine is pretty. Listen, you can still see I changed it too. Like that's another thing that I thought about the other day. I was like, nobody talks about how hard it is to change your name when you get married. Because you have to like rewind your like how you write your signature. You have
fill
to
paperwork out.
Yeah, you have to change all your cards. You have to change your banks. You have to change your car insurance. You have to change your driver's license, passport. Like you have to change everything. Every lease that you've been on. Every like, and I'm just like, God damn it, this is so much. But,
the price of marriage.
But no, and like for me, just like stop writing Michelle Hertzberg and start writing Michelle Biernat. I was like,
well, you don't really have to stop writing Michelle Hertzberg because you have it hyphenated.
Yeah, so. but that's the
now
thing.
You can do Michelle Hertzberg.
It's the same. I don't write Emma Michelle Hertzberg Biernat. Yeah. I just write Michelle Biernat.
As you should.
Yeah. Because like even like it's the same if like I ever fill out paperwork and it's like, what's your full name, and I write Emma Michelle Hertzberg Biernat, then they can say like, what's your preferred name? I just write Michelle Biernat. So. Yeah. But back to ApolloCon.
Yeah. No, it was great. I loved meeting all of the diehard fans of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. I love the romance community, and I'm
you had a lot of fun.
Yeah. This wasn't necessarily a new experience because I've been to so many of these book convention reader things.
Yeah.
So like I feel at home with this community of people. So
yeah,
it was a great time. I had a lot of fun.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
First time to Washington, D.C.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Didn't see shit. I mean, when we were driving to the hotel, I saw a lot of stuff. I think, yeah.
I've never been to the Capitol.
When you fly in, you see everything. You see all of the
stuff.
Things, yeah. the memorials and I think I saw the White House from where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Speaking of J.R. Ward, I reposted the B2B trailer that got released.
Yeah.
And I tagged her in it, and she responded to me, and she was like, I can't wait to meet you in New York. And I was like, I can't wait to meet you. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm super excited for New York.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so
it's going to be like next week.
I know, it's so close. Yeah, I can't wait to see the response, and
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just happy that I get to work with this group of people for the coming years. You know, like you couldn't have asked for a better group of people, and
yeah,
we're gonna have so much fun in fucking New York.
We're gonna have so much fun fucking New York.
No, we're gonna have so much fucking. Sorry. I don't know why I'm cursing. I feel so stupid when I curse, but we're gonna have so much fun in New York.
Yes.
Yes. Because this is your first time gonna be there, so like, and every time I've gone to New York, I mean, the first time I went, I did the sightseeing stuff, but like I don't really remember it.
Did you ever go on the boat?
No, we never went to.
I want to go on the boat.
Yeah, well, we never went to the Statue of Liberty when I went there when I was there for like a week or so.
I don't really need to go up in the Statue of Liberty.
I want to do that. If we're gonna be there, let's try to see if.
I'd rather go up Empire State Building than go up.
We're gonna do
that.
But
that's the thing. Like, if you go, there's a boat. I was talking to my dad about that, and he was like, "There's a boat that you can take that goes around like."
The Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
We can do that too.
You know, and like it shows like all the little islands. It shows you like all the.
I think with all the guys and the Shellens, we'll go up to the top of the Statue of Liberty, and then I think we were talking about walking through like the Grand Central Park or Grand Central Park. What is it? Central Park.
Central Park.
Yeah, we're gonna walk around with them.
Grand Central Park.
I was thinking Grand Central Station. I want to go to that too.
I want to go there too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. I have a whole folder of on Instagram, which is like videos that has like a bunch of like recommendations of cafes. I saw that breakfast place that had like those breakfast buns, cinnamon buns or something. And just all of these like museums and like stuff, and I was like, ooh, I need to make an itinerary.
Yeah. I cannot wait.
I need to wear comfy shoes. But I'm also super excited about the premiere. And that's another thing that I wanted to say is I think a big reason why I am so excited about the premiere, not just because it's in New York and everything, it's also because of like all the people. Mm-hmm. Like the cast and all of their like partners. Like I know we're going there.
We're going to have a fucking blast.
We're going to have such a good time.
Also, Michelle made her own dress.
I did make
so she made her red carpet dress, which is really pretty.
It's very BDB.
Yeah.
Inspired.
Yes.
It is.
I'm excited to see you.
I'm excited.
Strut the carpet.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Anything else you want to say about?
No, we're looking at a little over 2 hours, and I have to edit this today, so I think we should finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
And then when we talk to them next, we'll be back from New York, and we'll be able to talk about everything.
Yes. So if you have any questions.
Do you have any questions?
About New York, about the premiere, about anything that you want us to talk about in the next episode.
Yeah.
Comment below. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you whenever we feel like it.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I can always feel it. That's